You don't need to touch a woman to stir her desire. You can ignite it without a single word, without a single move, without even being near her, because she can feel your energy long before you reach her. A woman senses a man who's grounded. She feels it the moment he walks into the room. The calm, the self-control, the quiet confidence that needs nothing to prove itself. She also feels when a man is restless, chasing validation, trying to impress her instead of simply being himself. That difference between stillness and seeking is everything. Most men spend their lives trying to grab attention, trying to say the right thing, wear the right thing, do the right thing. But attention fades quickly. Presence, on the other hand, stays. You can't fake it. You can't perform it. You can only become it. And that's what separates the man she remembers from the man she forgets. Welcome back to Stoic Wisdom today. In a world where everyone is rushing to be noticed, the Stoic man slows down. He listens. He breathes. He observes before he acts. He doesn't need to dominate a room to be felt, because his calm already fills it. This kind of man doesn't chase what he wants. He attracts it naturally. His stillness is magnetic. Touch in this way becomes more than physical. Every glance, every silence, every breath, every word carries energy. You're always communicating something, even when you're quiet. Some men reach for her body, and she forgets them by morning. Others never even touch her, yet she feels them for years. The difference is not in what he does. It's in the quality of his presence. You don't awaken her desire by moving faster. You awaken it by moving deeper. You make her feel not because you're trying to make her feel something, but because you're grounded enough for her to feel herself when she's around you. That's power. Quiet power. Stoic power. And that power reveals itself through the smallest of gestures. The way you look, the way you breathe, the way you touch. Today we'll explore 5 kinds of touch that awaken a woman's desire, only when done with presence, restraint, and calm control. The first is the brief hand touch, the power of pause. You don't need to grab her hand or hold on to create connection. Sometimes it's the smallest gesture, a brush of fingers as you hand her something, the briefest touch when laughter fills the space between you. It's so subtle she may wonder if it even happened, but her body knows. Her nervous system remembers the calm energy behind it. Most men use touch to seek attention. The Stoic man uses touch to express intention. His movement is deliberate, not impulsive. His energy is centered, not restless. Marcus Aurelius said, "The more we value things outside our control, the less control we have." You don't need to chase reactions, you need to master yourself. When you can do that, your presence begins to communicate more than any words ever could. The briefest touch becomes a mirror of your state. If you're calm, she feels calm. If you're grounded, she feels safe. If you're anxious, she pulls away without knowing why. That's why awareness is everything. The way you touch reveals who you are in that exact moment. The calm man's touch lingers, not because of pressure, but because of peace. Every real connection begins with awareness, and awareness, when expressed through the body, becomes direction. When you hold her that way, steady, centered, contained, you do something that most men never master. You show her that power and peace can exist in the same body. And that's what separates passion from chaos. Because every man can be intense for a moment, but few can stay calm through it. The Stoic knows that true strength isn't the fire, it's the hand that controls the flame. When you embrace without taking, when you feel without forcing, you remind her that not all touch comes to claim. Some touch comes to honor. And that kind of energy, that calm devotion, stays long after the body separates. It's not seduction, it's spiritual gravity. It makes her feel not possessed but understood, not conquered but seen. That brings us to the second kind of touch, the lower back touch, direction without dominance. Imagine walking beside her. You reach out to guide her through a doorway or across the street. Your hand rests briefly on her lower back, steady, confident, gentle. You're not pushing, you're not pulling, you're simply leading. It's a silent message. I see you. You're safe with me. That's not control, it's clarity. Epictetus said, first, say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do. The Stoic man doesn't announce his strength. He lives it. He doesn't prove he can lead, he simply does. Women are sensitive to intention. They can feel when a man's guidance comes from ego versus awareness. The first feels heavy, the second feels protective. The first seeks approval, the second offers security. True direction has nothing to do with dominance. It's about being rooted enough in who you are that she can relax in your steadiness. A Stoic man leads not because he wants to control her path, but because he's already walking his own with purpose. If you've stayed this long, you're already different. Most men can't sit still long enough to listen. But that patience, the ability to stay, to breathe, to absorb, is exactly what makes you powerful. That presence you're practicing now is what women feel when they're near a man who's mastered himself. The third touch is the wrist hold. Stillness in motion. She's talking, laughing, full of energy. For a moment you gently hold her wrist. You don't squeeze, you don't restrain. You simply pause the world. It's a moment so brief, yet it changes everything. Seneca wrote, sometimes even to live is an act of courage. And in our restless age, even to pause is an act of strength. When you hold that stillness, just long enough for her to feel your awareness, you remind her of something she didn't even know she was missing. Presence. The world moves too fast. People touch without feeling, talk without meaning, move without purpose. But when you can stop time for just a breath, you make the moment sacred. She won't be able to explain it. She'll just feel something shift. You've made her body remember what peace feels like. Your calm becomes her curiosity. Your steadiness becomes her desire. That's the paradox of the Stoic man. The less he tries to take, the more he's felt. Most men touch to claim, the Stoic touches to connect. The fourth touch is the neckline adjust, refined intimacy. You notice something small, a necklace slightly off, a strap twisted on her shoulder. You pause, you look at her, not her body, but her eyes, and you say softly, "May I?" If she nods, you move slowly, gently. You fix what's out of place, then step back. You don't linger, you don't stare. You simply return to calm. You didn't make it about her body, you made it about awareness. Marcus Aurelius said, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. This moment is where that wisdom becomes real. You don't have to tell her you're respectful. She already feels it. You don't need to explain that you're confident. It's written in the silence between your words. The man who can touch with both respect and steadiness becomes unforgettable. Because this isn't about lust, it's about presence, meeting beauty without losing balance. You're not overcome by her, you're centered within yourself. That's what makes the connection powerful. That's what makes her feel seen, not just looked at. When you can hold awareness and warmth at the same time, you awaken something deeper than attraction. You awaken trust. And when that energy grows stronger, it becomes something timeless. The fifth touch is the hug with a pause, containment that creates desire. Most men rush hugs. They squeeze too tightly, hold too long, or pull away too quickly. But a Stoic hug is different. It's calm. It breathes. You hold her just one breath longer than she expects. Not long enough to cross boundaries. Just long enough for her to feel your steadiness. You're not trying to take anything from her. You're letting her feel what peace feels like in your presence. Your breathing is smooth. Your energy doesn't pull, it holds. And in that containment, desire is born. True desire isn't inflamed by friction. It's awakened by self-control. The man who can hold stillness can hold attraction, because he's mastered himself. When she steps back, she might not know why she smiled differently, but she'll remember how safe she felt for that one breath longer than usual. That's the moment that lingers. When you hold her that way, steady, centered, contained, you do something that most men never master. You show her that power and peace can exist in the same body. And that's what separates passion from chaos. Because every man can be intense for a moment, but few can stay calm through it. The Stoic knows that true strength isn't the fire, it's the hand that controls the flame. When you embrace without taking, when you feel without forcing, you remind her that not all touch comes to claim. Some touch comes to honor. And that kind of energy, that calm devotion, stays long after the body separates. It's not seduction, it's spiritual gravity. It makes her feel not possessed but understood, not conquered but seen. You don't need to touch more, you need to touch with more meaning. Every gesture, a hand, a wrist, a back, a hug, isn't about the motion itself, it's about the man behind it. The Stoic doesn't chase, he anchors. He doesn't perform confidence, he lives it quietly. Presence is not passivity, it's strength under control. It's knowing you could act, but choosing not to. That's where attraction becomes respect, that's where desire becomes connection. When you can stay grounded while she feels, you become the calm she didn't know she was craving. You become the peace she remembers in her most chaotic moments. In a noisy world, be the man who doesn't rush. Be the one whose presence slows everything down. Touch isn't just about romance. It's about how you move through life, how you greet others, how you listen, how you hold space for pain, for laughter, for silence. Every gesture mirrors your inner world. If you're restless inside, your touch becomes noise. If you're calm inside, your touch becomes peace. The Stoic knows that true control begins within. Control yourself, and you control what your presence awakens in others. To live this way is to practice Stoicism beyond philosophy. It's to bring it into the real world. In your work, in your friendships, in your love, your touch is always there. The way you shake hands, the way you listen to someone's pain, the way you calm yourself before you speak, all of that is a kind of touch. Every moment is an opportunity to express character. And presence isn't built overnight. It's built in quiet repetitions, in patience, in honesty, in awareness of your breath. That's how the Stoic learns to lead, not by words, but by example. He becomes the still point in the storm, the man whose calm changes the room without him saying a thing. Because when you learn to master your own energy, you no longer have to ask for connection. You become it. So let me ask you this. Which of these touches speaks most to you? The brief hand touch, the guiding touch, the pause at the wrist, the gentle adjustment, or the calm of the hug? And more importantly, what kind of energy do you leave behind when you touch the world? When people walk away from you, do they feel tension or tranquility? If this message spoke to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you're ready to master connection through calm presence, subscribe to Stoic Wisdom today. Here, we explore what it means to be powerful without pressure, magnetic without manipulation, and grounded in a world that moves too fast. Until next time, stay grounded, stay desired, stay stoic.